Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm Cheryl Carr, your work doctor, and this is the Achieve with Dr. C broadcast. Welcome to my show this Monday morning, this beautiful Monday morning, after a somewhat cooler weekend finally here in the Dallas area. But we've got COVID going on, and there's so much going on in the world right now that um, sharing this information that I share with you guys every week, which I hope if you're not following me on YouTube, please go subscribe and follow so you get notifications when I'm broadcasting and all kinds of other stuff that's coming up, especially this fall, as well as follow me on Facebook, Dr. Cheryl Carr. And then you can watch live. And I'll have other platforms because I'm changing platforms soon. Been working on all the stuff I've been telling you guys about. But so much is going on in the world right now. We need some solace. We need some peace. We need what I'm going to be talking about today because I think helping you live a calmer, more peaceful, and fulfilling life is my life purpose. So I do all of that, and I look forward to it because as I study for the show and as I make my notes and decide what the topic is going to be for the month, and also every show. And good morning, Sharon. Thank you for joining me as I make those decisions. It's ministry to me, but then I also feel like I get to minister to you guys because this is carefully researched information, and I hope it's helping everyone that listens. I know that's the goal. The goal is to give you information, not just as for psychology babble, which I do sometimes. I give you guys good hardcore definitions to hang your hat on, but I'm really hoping I give you practical information so you can implement these things in your life and find out that it makes life better, which we need right now because we're still all collectively traumatized and we're living under shifting earth beneath our feet. Look at what's going on over in Afghanistan, which I'm still having such a hard time being a military brat, having military upbringing, and having military friends fight over there that so quickly after we leave, they fall to the Taliban after 20 years of being over there. So it feels like wasted effort. But we have to believe there's something bigger at play. So, anyway, then you got the earthquake in Haiti again, and just prayers needed for everything. I went grocery shopping yesterday and got very concerned because I noticed the shelves looked like they did last year at this time. Now, I don't know if I try not to be a little um, negative Nelly, but it was the same way with gas the week before. So all I can think of is they're on some sort of auto inventory and they just didn't get themselves together for this year's demand. So they're restocking based on last year, which we were in the middle of still just a mess with the pandemic, and all business and delivery and services and everything was a mess. So maybe that's why. I don't know. But anywho, welcome this morning. Let's get into what we're talking about. We're still talking about words, the importance of words said, not just what's said, but what's meant by the word said. We're also learning how to talk more effectively and better, how to use words as encouragement with ourselves first, with our own internal talk, and then also what we say to other people, trying to be more encouraging and edifying, even if you have to be tough, because being edifying and encouraging doesn't always mean you're nice. I tell people I'm not nice all the time. I think women are socialized to play this fake role of being nice when in actuality, that's not what's required. Now, you should always be kind, which I also follow that sentence up that I'm not always nice, I always follow it up with I'm always kind, because being kind means you consider the needs and the benefits of what the other person needs before you consider, or as much as you consider your own. I'm not into self defacing and fake humility stuff. We need, they need, all of us need. So is there's a way to meet your needs and theirs without anybody trampling on the others. I always tell myself my needs and my rights stop where yours begin, because that's a healthy respect for the fact that sometimes you have rights and sometimes you have responsibilities. And when it comes to words, we have a responsibility that far exceeds our right to say whatever we want, however we want, because words are forever. Once you say them, you can't take them back. You can't make them unheard. You can't make them not mean whatever they meant to the person who heard the words. All you can do is apologize or try to overcome what you said with better words. So that's why this subject is so important. I started thinking about this because right now, social media has made all of us social broadcasters. It's also made everyone think their opinion matters. And it does to you and to those you love, but it doesn't always matter to whatever issues or whatever you're seeing as far as a post. And there's a lot of keyboard gangsters in the world, and they're saying things they would never say to your face, but they're typing it in. We're also, so much misinformation is getting out so quickly because of access to social media. Word of mouth and information travels at the speed of light. So we've got a lot of issues around this subject. And that's why I thought it would be important to talk about words for this month. And also with the things that I've shared up to this point, making sure you understand your words said matter, not just the word used, but what the word means to the listener. We've also talked about the importance of understanding words cannot be taken back, as I just gave a long, drawn out explanation about. But it's true, whether you like it or not. No matter what you use, as far as the words that come out of your mouth, you can't take them back. You can only apologize for them. And then we've got the whole issue of over communication, which is the subject we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk to you about oversharing and how you need to protect your energy and your peace by not oversharing, and understanding everybody doesn't have the stomach to take on your words. Everybody can't endure what your words will mean to them. So it's very important that you protect your own peace and energy by monitoring and carefully deciding the words you will use with other people. Now, I always tell people I protect my energy like I protect my time. And I've learned that because energy and time have diminishing returns, and you can't keep expending them without there being a wall or a diminished return on its use. Take, for instance, people wasting your time. What I mean by that is they don't have a respect for your time and what you need to do and how you need to do it. So they want you to do what they want you to do, or they will not show up for an appointment, which I have very little of these days. I've carefully monitored my time. If you schedule an appointment with me, or if I schedule an appointment with you, that time is protected and respected. And when I miss time with people, it's something that's gone on that I cannot avoid. And I always follow up. I always let them know. And it's surprising to me the amount of people who have absolutely no empathy for, if something happens with your time that impacts their time. It's as if They don't want to understand that, even if you apologize. And that's what leads me to believe all the time you need to be conscientious of your time, your words, and your energy and peace. Now, why should you protect your peace and your energy and time, especially in relation to words? For that very reason, I've said twice already now, you can't take it back. You can't unhear words you hear. You can't make them not mean to you what they meant to you. So they're going to evoke feelings, they're going to evoke decisions and choices, and they're going to make certain someone is impacted in a way that whatever their emotional well-being and makeup is, you can destroy someone. You can ruin their day. You can completely ruin a situation by the words you use. So I want to start out at first base, because a lot of times people will be told they're loquacious, or they overuse words, or they overshare. And I've learned to deal with that, mostly because usually it's a man telling a woman she talks too much. Well, I tell men, you talk too little. Although lately I've met a lot of men that talk a lot. They're very articulate. So maybe they've gone through some retraining and learned to open their mouths and to talk. I've met men who talk as much as I do, which is a lot, because I like to emote. I like to talk. I like using my words, and I've become comfortable with the fact that as long as I'm saying something and I'm carefully monitoring my words so that they have an impact, when I'm there, I'm in a good space and I feel like I can help people. And I feel like I use that same philosophy in how I talk to myself. The conversation that goes on in my head, I default to the most nourishing, comforting, self compassionate talk I can. And when I don't, I work to get out of that, because I've learned there's two very true statements. Besides the fact you can't take back what you said, you cannot get positive outcomes with negative words. And that includes what you say to yourself. Even though a situation might be bad, it is good exercise with yourself to learn to describe it in a way that protects your energy, protects your time, protects your heart, protects your well-being. Because that negative stuff, it isn't always great. Now, I'm not Susie Sunshine in rose colored glasses. I believe in being direct. And anybody that's ever dealt with me, they will tell you I'm a very direct communicator. I'm not one to flowery words and false fake kindness and false fake um, niceness and saying things to flatter people. I try not to waste words like that. And it's all because of understanding what I'm trying to teach today. Is that it's very important that you understand not everyone has the stomach or the emotional well-being to endure your words. So it's really important to make a safe space for yourself and for them with the words you use and type and post and everything. This is so beneficial for all mankind if we would all roll back to being more metered and careful with the words we put out. Now, when we went online last year, where everything went online, I was surprised at the lack of etiquette and manners and concern for what's said and how it's impacting people, and the misinformation and just the descent this country went into with just disrespect. I mean, people were stepping to me in ways I was like, really? You gonna say that? That's really where we're taking this conversation online, all because they were hidden behind a keyboard. So, anyway, let's talk a little bit more. I'm going to take a little drink of my water. It's been so hot here and humid. It's very, very hard to stay hydrated. So, let's talk about ways you can protect your peace and energy first, because I do think that's something that's important for you to do and to focus on before you ever get to metering and monitoring your words. Because what's in you is going to come out of you. And when I find people who are having problems with their communication, having problems with anger, having problems with how they express themselves, like I taught last week, they're either passive, passive aggressive, or assertive with how they communicate. When I find people in passive, where they don't have a voice, they don't feel anyone's concerned about their feelings, so they stuff down everything and they tend to boil over at some point. I find they need to begin within, and I help them work to find their own place of peace and protecting of their energy, protecting their peace and protecting their energy. It is not selfish. My sis is writing a book called Be the One You Need. I love that statement. Watch her podcast. It's a great podcast. Her name's Sophia Nelson. If you haven't watched her podcast, it's on Sundays. Usually, I believe it's Saturday or Sunday afternoon. I don't know. I always catch the rebroadcast, like I'm sure many of you catch my rebroadcast, because that's when my viewership goes up. When I'm live, it's a low count, but then it'll go way up with 200 or 300 people watching, sometimes more than that. But anyway, begin within, because if you're not in a peaceful place where you feel like you protect your energy and you can find your voice within that space, then what's coming out of you or what's not coming out of you and your self-talk is very, very negative. And we have to work on that. So here's some ways that you can protect your peace and protect your energy. And yes, I'm reading my notes up here. First of all is learning the fact to say no. A lot of people spend their time and their day doing things they don't want to do with people they don't like. We call it work. And many of us have to go to work. And that's why I'm your work doctor, because I'm finding that is where we spend the majority of our adult waking hours. And that is a place where we get the most of our wounding and our emotional disrest and unrest and disease. We're not in good workplaces. Some of us work in very toxic places, and we've been there for years. And we wonder why we're so negative and have bad self-talk. And we don't use good words. When we finally get home, we're coming from a very negative place within. And so saying no and letting it be a complete sentence, because no is a complete sentence, it requires no follow-up. Your no should be carefully protected for you. And it is something with assertive communication, because it allows you to express how you feel and what you think in a way that should not offend someone else. Because your no should be metered and carefully used and come from a place of peace and protecting your own energy to know enough. I can't do that. That's not something I want to do. And you have the courage and the boldness and the love in your heart for yourself first and for that person to just say no, rather than begrudgingly do something, be miserable, have a stank attitude, or seething within, because that's not what you want to do. Now, no has to be practiced for those of you that have been passive communicators, where you don't say anything, you don't have a voice, you don't believe people are concerned with you. So you keep yourself quiet when you should speak up. This is something you can learn to do. Practice saying no and say nothing after. I also have another sentence for those of you who just can't say no. You can say, I can't do that at this time. And then say no more. Don't overshare. Don't get over into protecting their feelings and their energy more than you protect your own. And I promise you, if you come from a good, peaceful, protected energy place within, when you say no, it will emote that to that person. And I know that sounds spooky, spiritual, or ethereal, or psychobabble, but it's true. Energy produces energy. Everything is energy. That's not new age. That's a fact. It's just a fact. It's the way the world was made. And the world was created with words. God said, let there be light. So when you start letting there by the words you use, you are creating, you are emoting, you are evoking, you are declaring and proclaiming, and you're putting energy out because, again, I'll say it again, words matter, not just words said, but what's meant by what's said. And when you take that and apply it to saying no, or I'm not able to do that at this time, from a good protecting your energy, protecting your peace place, it can't help but have the same effect. Even if they get mad, you still did a good job of protecting energy and space. And I just believe in that. That has good returns. Okay? So, next thing you can do is practice listening to your intuition. Intuition is that energy exchange that you have with someone else when they're trying to tell you to do something, or they're using words to belittle you or make you feel a certain way, to have power over you. All I can tell you is if you learn to run at the first sign of crazy, when people don't respect you enough to talk to you well or treat you well, I submit to you that is something that, if you do this, if you practice listening to your intuition and running from or getting from around that person that energy exchange isn't good, and you may not even be able to verbalize it, but you know that energy exchange isn't good, well, I think you'll find yourself feeling better and more self-compassionate, and self-care will be at a higher level when you do that. Listen, practice listening to your intuition. Energy doesn't lie. It doesn't lie. Even if people are great actors and con men, there's always going to be something that tells you that ain't right. That there's something's not right there. That's not suspicion, that's intuition. Other thing, cut ties. This is something I have to teach a lot because just like people can be passive or passive aggressive or aggressive, people tend to stay around in things that are toxic and not good for them because they develop pair bonding, which is a lot of talk, but it happens. That's why you have to be careful who you're around. You got to be careful who you exchange your energy with because it has a return. So, cutting ties means you learn to not only say no and not only run from something and pay attention to your intuition, but you also learn to stop dealing with folks, stop dealing with situations, stop involving yourself in other people's business that doesn't have a return back to you, that protects you and protects your energy. That is not hard to do if you have self-love, or if you don't like drama. If you don't like drama, stop getting in drama. It's an opt-in situation. I promise you, you decide no, and you cut ties with the drama, stop the phone calls, stop the communication. I cut people off sometimes, and it can be perceived as being rude, but I'm protecting my energy and my peace by not listening to gossip. It's like I don't want to hear that. That's not a conversation I want to have. Nope, not going to talk about other people. Let's talk about us. Or I simply will go, if this is what you want to talk about, I can't talk to you right now. And when you completely make me in a position where that's the way I have to communicate with you, I'm done. Now, I know there's a statement, you can untie what you don't cut, but I'm a person that I believe some bridges need to be burnt. Burn them all the way down so you don't go back. Some ties need to be cut. Some people you need to quit talking to. Some people don't deserve your time and energy and ears, especially if you stay in the same vein all the time, where you notice all your conversations are gossip and other people's business. Everything you talk about is negative. They're complaining, you're complaining, everybody's complaining. And when you get off the phone, are you drained? Do you not feel energetic, better for that conversation, that time you spent listening? If not, it's time to I I'm sorry, I judge and look at my friendships and the people I spend time with, because I understand diminishing returns. And I understand the fact that if I can't be in a good space with you, I have to fight my way to a good space without you. Because what you're not going to do is drain me and leave me for dead on the side of the road. You have to put your own air mask on first sometimes. Now, I am the most compassionate person to a limit. And I have a long tether, especially with people I love. But my boundaries are firm. And I will cut some stuff off if I have to. Because I understand that principle of putting my own air mask on first. It's not mean. Struggle love is no benefit to you, because a lot of times they'll struggle love with you and then break up with you and go marry somebody they're not struggling with after you've gone through the nth degree with them. That's just the way life works out. Again, it's an energy exchange. And if my energy exchange with you can't be a high level, high vibration, high manifesting exchange, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to deal with you. I deal with people on the lower energy, lower manifestation, low cycle of exchange for my profession. So why would I do that in my personal life to excess? Now, I've got my family and friends and people I love that I deal with them as they are, but I still limit those interactions. So cut ties. Nourish your body is another thing that's really important. It's really hard to have good energy and protect your peace if you're sick or in pain all the time. Having been through disease earlier this year, called COVID, then I had surgery. I had to recover from that. Um, I've had a lot of things that make me respect health and energy and having vibrant health. And I submit to you, that's worth your energy and fight. That's worth exchanging time for exercise, eating well, drinking your water. Like I got my Essentia here, drinking my water and making sure I stay hydrated. Mm. And I think if you start doing those things that make you feel good in your physical body, because this earth suit, it's all you got. It's what carries you around. It deserves your attention and self love and taking care of it. But nourish your body with good food, exercise, fresh air, sunlight. I love to garden. I love to run. I love walking in the woods and around flowers or arboreums and museums and things that nurture my mind and my physical body. Nourish your body, your earth suit. Next thing you can do to help protect your energy and time is to be conscious of your thoughts, your self-talk. How are you talking to yourself? And are you talking to yourself the same way you would talk to someone you love or not? If you aren't, if you have a problem with your self-talk, I did a whole month of it. I think it was April or May. Go back and listen to those conversations I had on my show and see if any of the tips and things that I shared with you help. But your self-talk matters. How you talk to yourself matters. The words you use in your head, describing situations, working things out, encouraging yourself, or helping yourself to do something their body needs to do, how you're talking to yourself matters. And that's how you're going to talk to other people. Yeah, it's true. And then the final thing about protecting your energy and your space is to declutter. Environment matters. Cleanliness matters. Having a decluttered, organized space helps me think. I need beauty. Um I need plants and uh, things that are living. I like a clean, good smelling atmosphere. And I love water and being around water, and those things help me declutter not only my mind, declutter everything in your life. Your phone, people you need to burn that bridge or cut that off, cut that tie. Declutter your work environment. If you have pictures up that have been there for 10 years, because you've been there for 10 years, freshen them up. Get you some plants. Do something. Just declutter. Clean your closets, which I just had somebody do that for me. So I don't have the time, and they love to do it. I'm all for letting someone do what they love that helps me out, that gives me a system I can just maintain. If you can do that, clean up, declutter. That gives good energy to your space. Humans need that. We need clean. Our bodies need clean. It helps us fight disease. So try some decluttering this week. That's one of your assignments to help protect your energy and your space and your time. Declutter and try any of the other things I talked about. Now let's dive into why I did all of that and why I gave you that. Is because, again, to make ourselves better communicators, to start metering our words and making sure we're saying things that are edifying and impart grace to our listener, it has to begin within, because what's in you is what's coming out of you. So try those things first. Then you can get to some of the things that I'm getting ready to share with you about how to stop um, overusing your words or incorrectly using your words. And the way you do that is to, first of all, be conscientious about oversharing or undersharing. This applies to both. Because if you're passive and you don't speak up and you don't have the courage and the boldness to say what needs to be said, then you will spend a lot of time feeling upset and wishing you had have said something, or wishing you hadn't listened to something. If you're a passive communicator, you spend a lot of time too listening to a bunch of stuff that doesn't help you. So I'm hoping this will encourage you. So here's some ways that you can make sure that you're not drained of energy, angry, confused, and upset with your words, and words you listen to plus words that you say. You need to make sure the people around you, they can hold water. They can hold your words, and it's a non-judgmental space that's protected and safe and trustworthy and discreet, so that you don't feel like you can't talk and you have nobody that listens to you. It's a very dangerous place to be when um we're not able to be heard. And that is a great human need. Right now, that is probably number one need I see with people, is they don't feel like there's anything or anyone that wants to listen to them and let them be important and heard. We all need it. So, first thing I want you to do is to consider whether or not, when you use words, do you feel drained? Do you feel angry? Are you coming from a good place within? And then once you do that, start looking externally. How are people responding to you? That was your assignment last week. And I hope you did that. And did you make some notices, or did you notice if people were receiving your words in a positive, affirming way? Or did you see strife? Did you understand? Were you understood? Were you listened to? Or were you avoided? And I'll tell you, I did the assignment myself, so I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I don't do. And I had actually a conversation with someone I care deeply for about words and how we talk, because we're both loquacious and we like to talk. And we sometimes talk over each other because we're so anxious to say what we want to say. So I started practicing what I preach again, and not just letting myself free roll. And I think our communication got even more intimate and deeper. But first, you need to ask yourself those questions. How are people receiving you when you communicate? And then you need to understand, are these people drains or fountains? If people are receiving your words and you still feel drained, there's an energy exchange that's out of balance. And you need to understand, everybody doesn't have the stomach for your words. And this may not be someone you can communicate on a deeper level with. You need to keep it surface or professional. And those are the things you need to look at. You need to evaluate your communication skills and style. It always will serve you well to do this, because people are unconsciously incompetent when it comes to words and talking. Inform yourself about your own style. Are you passive? Are you passive aggressive? Are you aggressive? Or are you assertive, which is the goal? What kind of energy exchange is happening between you and the people you communicate with is super duper important. Do you feel safe in their presence? Do you feel like your words are trusted, and you can trust them not to repeat things, and you're not talking about people's business. You're doing things and saying things that are edifying and leave you lighter, and having had laughter in an exchange and being listened to. And If you don't have anybody like that in your life right now, no places of good communication, try journaling or try therapy, because you need to be heard. You need to find your voice. Having people who hold a non judgmental space for you and allow you to be able to speak, and to speak at a level of positive, nurturing, loving, kind, that's so important. You need that. It's a need. It's not just a desire. We need one another. We need community. We need to communicate. You're not an island of in and of yourself. You need community. You need your tribe. You need people. So doing that and protecting your energy and your time is your assignment for this week. For your homework assignment, I want you to, if you have to, listen to this again, so you can take a few notes. But the most important thing is, I want you to start protecting your time and your energy and coming from a good place from within, so that what comes out of you is graceful and imparts grace to the listener. And you can find yourself being an assertive, effective communicator. And we're not putting bad words in the atmosphere. We're not using these mouths to create more negativity and bad things. We can use our mouths to create much better environments, life, and everything else. Make sure you say no this week, and you, as you're protecting your energy and your space and your assignment for the next week, say no. Practice saying no. Use the sentences I gave you. I'm not able to do that at this time. Don't do a bunch of stuff you don't want to do. Practice your no. Listen to your intuition. If your energy exchange, if you're noticing all the people you spend time communicating with at work or at home, and you can separate them, because working from home, which most of us are doing right now, we're still communicating with other people. We have Zoom, we have Teams, we have Google Meet, we have everything, webinar, Cisco Web. So anyway, find a way to find out if that exchange is helping your energy, helping your peace, or draining you. Make that assessment. Cut ties. If you've got that friend that all you guys do is gossip, or every time you talk to her it's drama, 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 or him, it's drama, 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 cut the ties. Learn to cut ties and declutter. Declutter. Declutter your environment. Declutter this phone. Get people out of there you shouldn't be talking to. Yes, declutter your whole environment. That one area that you tell yourself every day, man, I need to clean this up. Is it your car? Is it your desk? Is it your closet and your drawers? Do that this week. Declutter. Clean up. Not just your environment, but your whole life. Focus on that. And then finally, be conscious of your thoughts. What's your self talk like? Begin within, so that what comes out of you can be encouraging, nurturing words that do good. We can use our mouths for good. And there is a scripture that says, if you can control your tongue and your words, you can control your whole body. Mhm. And it's true. Control your words, you can control your whole body. That's why I'm teaching about the power of words, because it matters how you talk. It matters the words you use, not just what you say, but what's meant by what's said. So I hope something was said for you today that you can take a hold of, implement in your life so you have a more healthy, nourishing, self-compassionate life. That's all I want to do. I'm trying to help you do. So I'm going to sign off for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. If you're listening to this rebroadcast, make sure you click like and subscribe, and then share this information with somebody else so that we can get the information out to people that will help them. This will only help everything and everybody if we go back to some sort of human decency with the way we talk to ourselves and the way we talk to others. It can only get better if we work on it. So don't forget your homework assignment. And I'll see you next week, 10 a.m. CST, right here on the Achieve with Dr. C broadcast. I hope you'll be back. Okay. Have a great week. Watch those words, not just what's said, but what's meant by what's said. Okay. Can't take words back. Bye. Have a good week. Bye bye.